Awareness. Awareness is a key part of being able to enjoy life. Why is that? And when I talk about awareness, it also encapsulates self-awareness. So whenever we feel something, when we get emotional about something, the awareness of noticing that rather than engaging with the emotion and just, being angry, for example, the awareness of, okay, I'm getting angry, then asking why am I getting angry, what is triggering me, and that's going to be the easy answers. But then understanding why is that triggering you? Okay, someone screamed at you, someone said you didn't like it, but why is that making you angry? Why are you giving that power to the person to make you angry, right? Like it's a decision. Once you become aware, it becomes a decision. Before that, you're unconscious, you're getting angry, and you're like, why is this person saying that? Why is this person doing that? Why is this happening to me? And again, you can take any emotion, not just anger, but any negative emotion. And once that emotion is overcoming you, you start suffering, right? In like you're switching from a maybe you were in a state of enjoyment or at least neutral, and now you're suffering, you're angry. And so the realization of that is happening, that this anger is starting to creep up on you, and the realization secondly then of why that is happening, how that person is, or that event, whatever it is that triggered that, is affecting you, then gives you the power to decide not to be angry or not to engage, and realize what triggers you. And that is what, that's something to learn for you that you might not want to expose yourself to, or even better, just not let it affect you. That's the key part. Like, as long as you give the external world, or i.e. the world outside of you, the power to influence how you feel, you will always be a victim, because the world does what it wants, and sometimes will do beautiful things, and of course you should enjoy and embrace them, but sometimes it will do things you don't like. Often, probably 50% of the time, sometimes more, sometimes less. And as long as you let that trigger you, you will suffer. And so you will suffer the rest of your life for a lot of time, except you make the decision that you don't want to do that. And it can be as silly things as the weather. So many people say, oh, it should have been sunshine and now it's not, and it's raining. Okay, that's probably true, but why would you be suffering? Why would you engage with that negative feeling, that negative emotion, rather than trying to find good things? And this is not about false positive thinking. It's just, where do you put your focus on? And also the realization that, certain things are just facts. So when someone says something negative to you, or the weather is in a certain way, or something happens, or someone cancels something that you're looking forward to, you can decide. It's a decision. Once you become aware and you become self-aware, it's a decision whether to engage with that emotion or just accept it, because it is a fact, right? The person did say that, the weather is that certain way, the event got cancelled, but that doesn't mean you have to engage in that. You can just say, oh, okay, well, now I'll do something else, or I'll talk to someone else, or maybe I won't go outside. And these are really simple decisions, but most of us are in the default mode where we just react to it, and then we engage with that emotion. We're like, the world is against me, everything is bad. And again, if you're aware, you will not only notice that this is creeping up on you, and that is not you, but that's just your mind reacting. Basically, your primal version is kind of like boiling up this emotion, and then you attach to it. Attached to that, and you just keep engaging with it, and then it just gets worse, right? And worse and worse, and then maybe tomorrow you still think about what the person said, and then maybe a year later you still think about what that person did to you, and it doesn't let you go. And so you basically created your own suffering, right? The person did something, maybe they didn't even do it consciously, maybe they didn't do it on purpose, it was just something that triggered you. And you decided to engage to it, identify with it, attach to it, and probably then if it's worse, you probably give that as a reason why your life is not the way you want. Again, you give so much power to that person or event that you give up agency over your life by deciding to attach to that emotion and not letting go. And then, if it's really something bad, you might 20 years later, you might still be thinking about it and like, this happened and my life would be amazing if this wouldn't happen. Wake up. It has nothing to do with what happened. Like, the beautiful thing, all the bad things that happen to us are challenges for us to grow and to realize you can control your thoughts, you can control how you react to things. You're not a victim of these things. It's a decision. Yes, the world is doing, and the world meaning people, things, events, the weather, nature, they're all doing things, and sometimes they're nice and sometimes they're good, but that's the same for all of us. But how we react to it is a decision. And as you become aware, as you develop yourself, as you grow, and you look internally, you look inwards, and stop blaming everything that happens outwards, but just see that as signals. These are like things happening, and then you decide how you engage with them. You gain power, and you can decide whether these things run your life, or they're just, they happen, and you just, okay, this happened. And of course, for example, if a person is negative towards you, you can decide. One possible decision is, well, first you don't let it affect you, but then again, these are things for us to learn. So one is learning for it not to affect you, and that's not just only in regards to that person, but it's generally that we don't let these things affect us. That we don't let others affect our lives. That's the challenge that life puts towards you, and you can decide to grow or just to catch on to that anger and just keep engaging with it. The only thing that it results in is you living an angry life. Trump is a great example. Gets angry at anything that is not saying how great he is. And he's probably one of the least happy persons in the world, even though he's the president of the United States, right? He's the least, and that's kind of the irony of sometimes when you're in places like that. But it has nothing to do where you're at in life. It's just a general decision whether you want others and things let you affect you. And once you learn to react differently to a certain person, you learn that for all different events as well, right? That's the challenge. So that's where the growth is. It's not just letting go of that one person, but then it will become easier to do that with all kinds of people and events, etc. And then there will come a point at some times where things just don't affect you anymore. And in a good way. I don't mean that like you're not engaging with the world anymore, but like, okay, it's raining or it's sunshine. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's sunshine. Sometimes people are nicer, sometimes they're less nicer. And whenever someone does something negative to you, it's an expression of their own bad place. It's really that simple. Happy people don't start wars, they don't start fights, they're happy, right? They have no reason to do bad things to other people or to any being or anything bad, really. And of course, sometimes people say things to you that are not even intended to be bad, but you get triggered, and that's another aspect, right? Sometimes things negatively affect you, but there was no bad intention on the other side. So all of these things are opportunities for you to learn to grow and not let it affect you. And once you do, life becomes so much better, and there's no more suffering, and other people can't affect you anymore. You're just in peace, in balance, and things are happening, but you're just moving on. And so I challenge you to reflect upon that, and next time something triggers you, and anger was just one negative emotion. It could be jealousy, could be envy, could be sadness, all of these things, and you decide how much time you spend engaging with that emotion, whether it's a second, a minute, a day, an hour, a day, a year, or your lifetime, and that will hugely impact the quality of your life. So awakening is realizing that you have control over that, and not that these things control you. And once you start doing that, life will never be the same again.